paparazzi. If you ain't talking money, shit don't ring. I keep counting blue hundreds. No wonder why I'm getting all this shit sting. New car, new Rari. That little button do a lot of things. She just bought a new body. New ass, new titties looking clean. Bitch got lay your whole body. She just won a couple dollars. Don't like keeping secrets from me. She just like when no one know about it. I just took a blue pill. Now I feel like Drew Hill. Found out that shit was too real. Don't know what to do at all.
What's up? This your boy the N.O.C, aka DJ Maserati Knock. You know what I'm saying? Got a special guest with me. You know what I'm saying? Of course, the homie. We go back a long time. You know what I'm saying? But we're gonna get into that story and everything. You know him as Young X. My mama named me. What's up, sir?
What's going on? It's been a minute, man.
Yes, it has been a minute, man. But it's been a good minute.
Great minute.
A great minute, man. You know what I'm saying? I want to thank you for taking time out of your schedule. I know you're busy today. You know what I'm saying? All the time, grind. To tell us your story. You know what I'm saying? Now, my story is, you know, I know you from when you first started interning at the radio station. You was still in high school, right?
14.
14 years old, interning at the radio station. And you was like, yo, I'm trying to learn how y'all cut commercials. You know what I'm saying?
And so I was really just trying to learn how to record so I can get in there and work on my mixtape.
Yeah.
I caught you
a couple of times. It was like, okay, record, let it fly. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, you was working with the Fruit Loops at the time, and, you know, you came in, you was interning, learned that, applied it. Another thing is, you know, when I was doing radio, used to have the weekend wrap-up.
Yeah.
The weekend wrap-up was when cats can call up, spit their bars about how they did their whole weekend. Every week on Sunday, Young X was on there.
Period.
Every week, call him, yo, you ready? Yo, I'm ready. Go ahead and record it, play it back. City went nuts. You know what I'm saying? And to see your growth from 14 to where you at now with Timeless, you know what I'm saying, I think is like just dope, man. You know what I'm saying?
Appreciate
I want to
that.
congratulate you on that, man.
Appreciate that.
And I want you to share your story with other artists in the city that are trying to make their name known, create their sound. You know what I'm saying? So let's talk about your experience, man. Starting off, where you from? I know you're from Cincinnati.
From Cincy. Avondale is the actual neighborhood I grew up in. Went to Burton Elementary. But yeah, I started off in Mom's basement, man. The real gritty of it. And one thing about me, the difference between me and a lot of, you know, artists, producers, musicians is consistency. And I'm so determined. And I know exactly what I want. I'm going for it. You know what I mean? I remember being in high school and the college talk, you know, when you're a senior, it's always college talk when you're a junior. And I was just like, yo, I'm not going there. I don't want to be a doctor. So there better be a school out there that got something to do with plugging up some audio equipment and putting some sounds together. So, and that's like literally what happened. So, that's pretty much what I would say that separates me is I'm just very determined. I know exactly what I want, and I damn near know exactly how I'm gonna get it and get to it.
So some like your early start with creating your sound and getting your name out there, you know, because you work with artists locally and of course outside of Cincinnati, you know what I'm saying, Stewie Rock, Lantana, but you got a whole wall of artists that you have worked with. Tell us about your sound starting off.
Well, one thing, when I first started, engineers really wasn't getting recognition for their work. We just was behind the scenes. I remember coming up, looking up to Bino, and he was like the engineer in Cincinnati, the main one. And when I was doing my thing, I'm like, how can I have a signature sound being the guy that's behind arranging all this music? Because at the time I wasn't even making beats. So I came up with this tag. It was a Star Move tag. It's called Star Move. A lot of people know that that's really where my first start was with recognition. And I used to just put that in people's songs. So it was a marketing strategy. This was like in 2009. I was 19 years old. It was like a marketing strategy where if I'm like, hey, if 10 artists got this, you know, this tag on their songs, people gonna want to know, well, who is that? Where do you go to get recorded? Blah blah blah. So that was one of my signature things, was the tags at the moment. And then from there, when I started producing, I moved to Atlanta, and that's when I started messing with Stewie Rock, and I kind of got a hold of that. They call it like the ATL turn up. It's like that futuristic sound. Very happy, and I got a whiff of that real early. The thing about Stewie Rock is he's from the Midwest. He's from St. Louis, so me and him, we connected on a different level, and we was able to have that ATL sound with that Midwest vibe kind of to it. Right. And that's pretty much what kind of created my sound, like that happy, feel good music. But everything ain't always turned. You're gonna hear some emotion. You're gonna hear some pain. You're gonna hear something in there. So that's pretty much what my sound is.
Okay. Now, as an artist, you know, what motivates like your lyrics? You know what I mean?
All life situations. Everything that I rap about, write about, I've experienced like firsthand on. And if I didn't, somebody close to me did, and I'm speaking that story. But pretty much just whatever I feel. When I go to the studio, I don't just do like music. Like, oh, I'm gonna do some turn up stuff. Like, I have no idea what I'm gonna do. If I'm mad that day, you're gonna hear an angry ass record. You know what I'm saying? If I'm sad, you're gonna hear some emo. I remember doing a studio session. I invited like 20, 30 people, and they're in the session. And you know, we doing the turn up, and then I turn around and just do this female record, and it's like 30 guys in there. How can they relate, right? They like, yo, what you doing and all this? But it was lit. And they was like, dang, this is dope. But that's because I was willing to do what I wanted to do, and how I felt at the time. I wanted to put that in the music. One of them happened to be Volume, track that I got on my mixtape, Carla Rossi 2. But yeah, I just do what I feel at that moment, and that's what music should be about. You know, how you feel at that time.
So producing that track for Lantana, you know what I'm saying, working with the artists here, how that just like took off, you know what I mean, on a national level, you know what I'm saying, for the city and for you, how did that make you feel, man?
Honestly, it was deeper for me because, one, I went to school with Lantana, so we went to high school together. He was one of the cats that knew me. He was recording with me in Mama's Basement. Gotcha. Before he was Lantana, he was Easy. Right. So the first thing for real for me was that stuck with me was, I remember the session of All Hustle No Love. And he had just got out of jail, seen me and was like, yo, E, you know, you doing your thing with the Star Move. I hear you doing good. We got to work. And I'm like, cool. And I remember when he came to the session, you know, at the time, we all was messed up. So he was just being, like, transparent and real. Like, yo, I got over here on a tank. Like, I'm on E. I don't even know how I'm getting back home from this. Right. You know, I got some money. I ain't really got a lot. But, look, I got $100. Like, I don't know how we can make this work. I know you charge for your beats, your mix, your recording. But, like, dog, like, I'm serious about this. I'm not playing. And it was something in his eyes that just made me be like, this the first cat I can really trust and like actually like believe what he's saying. Like, I'm gonna give him, it ain't always about the money. Like, I'm gonna get this man my time. I believe in this, and it feel good to me. So when that took off, that's what resonated with me more than anything, was just the story behind it. And really, like, you do gotta believe in something, and you just gotta stick with it and just put faith into it. You know.
Now I remember when I first met Lantana, it was on the way to the club. Actually, you know, we was doing a live broadcast up there as celebrities, you know what I'm saying? Had never ran into him or anything like that, but he was like, yo, N.O.C called me out. I was like, so he's like, yeah, Lantana, you know what I'm saying, I be hearing you on the radio, been listening a while. He was like, yo, you need to check out this song. And I remember listening to it like, yo, this shit is hot. Like, the vibe, the pulse and everything, like, yo, this is gonna be crazy. You know what I'm saying? So I saw his hustle. He was out there like, yo, making sure that cats knew who he was, pushing it and everything like that. And to see like the city, you know, DJs start playing it, and then the radio stations start playing it and everything like that, opening up doors. Just, you know, as an artist aspect, I thought that was a real good look. And from a producer aspect, you know, to be connected with that and have that backstory, I mean, that's like the Cincinnati.
It was honestly, man, like, as a producer, it's the best placement you can have All Hustle No Luck didn't, get us out the hood and get us living this lavish lifestyle. But that's wasn't it.
Right.
It wasn't about
the goal.
that.
Right.
It was the fact that two kids that come from nothing, from a city where we're known for not making it in nothing, and even if we do make it somewhere, we're getting pushed right back down.
Right.
The fact that we were able to do something, that track could have been produced by Timberland or somebody in Atlanta.
Right.
That artist could have been Jeezy, but the producer from Cincinnati. The fact that both people were from Cincinnati and they had a connection even prior to meeting, and it wasn't about nothing but straight passion, and that made it. That's the best placement you could ever have. You know what I mean? Like, that's two kids coming from nothing and actually making something.
Yeah.
Where people actually, recognize. So, yeah, Land, that's one of my favorite records, favorite moments. I can remember the story, like, all the way down to the start of the session. For real.
That's crazy. I was going to ask you, like, one of your best moments, you know what I mean? Because I remember the first time in the studio, that was, I forgot where it was at. But it was off Paddock, you know what I'm saying? And then to see that drive that you kept it going, you know what I'm saying? This is a beautiful facility, and it's the only one on this level in the city.
Period.
You know what I mean? And they say the best form of flattery is imitation, but your passion, people can't imitate that.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I can see from how you have your setup, like a lot of passion went into that. So I can tell from like your setting today and your atmosphere, family is big with you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You guys have been the barbecue day for the staff, family, and friends, and everything. How does that influence how you do business?
Honestly, a lot of my business, surprisingly, is done with my family, with my friends. You know what I'm saying? Everyone around me is, even if you're not blood, your family. Those are the people I choose to keep close, to do business with, because those are the people that care most about you. Those are the people that's gonna keep you grounded. I'm till this day, I'm still with my day ones. Whoever used to drop me off at the interns at the Wiz and come with me and wait in the lobby till I was done, like, they're still here. They work with me. We do business. We break bread. So I'm real big on family. I'm real big on friends too. Like, you know what I mean? Blood don't make you close. So, but I'm big on that. It's important to just have people around you that can keep you grounded. That's why I've been able to be humble for so long. I'm doing a lot of great things. I am, but for some reason, I'm still very, very humble. My friends say I'm too modest sometimes. Like, you got all this stuff going on and you just be acting like it ain't nothing. Like, nothing just
well, I mean, when you go back to what you said earlier, like, you know exactly what you want, you know exactly how to get it. You know what I'm saying? You already have that knowledge, so, you can be modest. Like, this right here is not the end all. Like, we still got more work to do. You know what I'm saying? So that's a good look, man. I saw your son, running around earlier.
J Money.
He was calling everybody nephew. And I said, no, my name Knock. And he was like, Knock? I'm like, yeah. He was like, nephew. He went back to nephew. But you was telling me, like, he's learning the game right now.
He's learning how to engineer. He knows how to, like, record. He knows the basics of recording. And that's just from me, like, ever since he was little, I usually try to not, have him in a lot of my sessions because it's always loud, and cursing and all that. But for some sessions, I bring him in, and he just watches me, and then he tries to go for it. So I let him pick up what he want to pick up, but he's picking it up pretty well. But he like every kid, they want to follow their father's footsteps, and I'm gonna let him.
Right. How that make you feel?
Oh, man.
Like, you feel like it's a lot of pressure being a dad and then being in this industry where it's like what you do can take a turn quick. You know what I'm saying? In a positive and a negative way.
It's a lot of pressure, but that's what makes diamonds. And that's kind of what I keep in my mind. Like, as long as I can, for real, I have to go through it. And I'm willing to do that in order to be able to let him know, hey, this is what you don't do, this is what you do, this is what works, this is what worked for me, this is might what work for you.
Right.
So it's not much pressure because I'm willing to make the mistakes for him. You know what I mean? If I can get this far, at least I know he gonna get a little farther than what I did right now.
Right.
So I'm willing to make all the mistakes, take all the risk, make all the sacrifices. So it's not that much pressure, but it is like, yo, I have to make sure I set up a nice foundation for him.
Okay. So let me ask you a question. Who are some of the artists, like local artists, that kind of inspired you to do what you do?
So it's not particularly an artist, but one of the first, this is crazy, one of the first people that got me wanting to really go get it was Big Greg. It was something about him, his demeanor, his aura. Like I used to watch how he walk. I used to watch how he talk. His demeanor, his confidence, and I was young to where I was just like, man, I want to be able to have that type of confidence when I'm talking about what I do.
Right.
I remember him. I was about to rap, and he was just like, all right, let me hear something. And then I was hesitant, and he stopped me right there. Like, if you hot, you shouldn't even. And that kind of worked on my confidence. But he was one of the first. He was a radio personality. He was one of the first people that I was just like, man, I want to have that type of personality. Music-wise, Hi-Tek was somebody that I really looked up to. As far as he's from Cincinnati, he done all these great things. I want that, and I want to do it better. And I mean, Tech had he has a studio. He had a studio, and that's who I was kind of following. Like, yo, Tech Labs. That was like when you think about Cincinnati, Tech Labs. There's no other studio. I wanted that. I wanted to be like, yo, I want people to say, yo, when I go to Cincinnati, it's X Labs. Right. You know what I'm saying, or whatever. So, and the ironic thing about that is he's one of my mentors. You know what I mean? He guided me through a lot. The first deal with Lantana, with RCA, like, I was calling him and panicking, like, yo, man, these people talk to lawyers, and he's just like, yo, chill, like, this is the business. So Tech is one of my idols, the fact that he's from here, and I've known him for a while. He known me before I even was X. He used to just see me, and I used to see him in the barbershop, trying to give him a CD, and just consistent, you know what I'm saying? But Tech is one of those people that really motivated me in the city.
Okay. How would you define, like, Cincinnati sound?
And
I know that's tough, right? Like, I mean, it's tough. It's tough to answer from an artist and from a producer.
It's a sound, but it's a sound you can't explain. So, like, it changes up so much, right? Like, Midwest is already, we're the middle. So we're going to be influenced by the South, the North, the West, the East. Like, when I used to listen to Boosie Collins, a lot of stuff from Boosie, I hear a lot of the West Coast in that, with that funk era. I'm hearing a lot of Boosie elements for real when I listen to the new West Coast music, even the old West Coast music. So we already embody that, where we got a little bit of everybody. But the only way I can explain Cincinnati sound is I can't, man. I can't. I would love to. We have phases, right? Like 2000 to 2005 was a sound. When you're talking about Zarnock, you're talking about the Garnets, from 05 to 2009. You're talking about the Crossers and Showtimes. Like every almost generation or decade had the sound, and even today it's like totally different from 2004. So, but it's a variety, though. I can't say that. It's a variety that's still distinctive to other people. Because when you play something to somebody in the South, even if we got that South influence, it's still different for them.
Yeah, they can tell the difference.
That was one of the reasons Stewie Rock signed me as a producer, because I was creating that Atlanta sound, but every time he kept saying, it's like a Midwest to it, though. I can't. It's like a swing. I can't. Right. It's not. It's Southern, but it's not.
Right.
So it's like I can't explain it, but I know what I hear.
So who are some of the artists that you are liking right now?
J. Cole is my top, and Drake will probably come right there. As far as right now, I'm not really into like the young, like the new stuff. Right, I sound like an old head.
You kind of.
I'm growing up, man. I'm growing
up. But that that just shows maturity and growth, though. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like in terms of like Cincinnati artists, who do you see on the rise?
On the rise?
Yeah. if not
I'll
already.
tell you
there.
this, who I feel like could potentially make it out of here. I still got faith in Lantana. That's something about passion. Let's just put the music aside. Like that boy got it. Overall package, he has it. Prince Bop, I've been working with him for a while. That's one of the young. He's with that young generation. That kid got to be like 21 now, and but not only do he have that sound, but he has the following. You know, when he drop a music video or something, it's easily in the 100,000s organically.
Right.
He has 1 million. He's the only kid out here that has 1 million plus views on more than one music video. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He was at the time when he was signed with AB. AB put him on his page, and his views was at 1 million, and AB's views wasn't even at 1 million. So that tell you something, right? It's not just about people wanting to watch AB. Shout outs to AB for sure, not taking nothing away from him, but that kid got talent, man, and he has that young generation, and he has substance. Like he's so young. When you hear his music, you like, what do you know about that? Like how do you relate to that? What do you go through? Like you like 20, you like 13, kid. But Prince Bop is one of them. It's a lot of artists out here that I really rock with, but those are the ones that really stand out to me that I feel can do something overall.
Right. Now, one of the things that comes up in the conversation a lot is how social media is so much more vital now. You know what I'm saying? Like that tool is like if you can master that, then you can really master your exposure. But it's a catch-22. How do you feel about that in terms of the pros and cons of it?
In this generation, we need it. It's no different than what Source was back then. It's like, to me, it's the same concept. Like if you were hot in the Source magazine or certain magazines that were out, and you were able to make that cover or that ad, people were talking about you. I remember seeing Wiz in one of the magazines before he did Cabin Fever stuff, and I was just like, who is this cat? Like from Pittsburgh, I think he's from Pittsburgh. It's oversaturated, and it does create something to where people who really are talented and really got the true passion and drive, they get weaved out because they don't have the gimmick or the personality or troll to them. That's the con to it that I dislike. I wish people would just get back to listening to the music.
Right.
Then if you like the music, you can see if you like the person. And if you don't like the person, so be it, you know. But the pros has definitely gave people like my generation a chance to actually try to get out there, because it's not always just about the music either. You know what I mean? There's a lot of great people out there that need to be heard, need to be seen. They're just entertaining. You know what I mean? We used to, why did we watch wrestling, right? How talented was The Rock in wrestling? We used to watch wrestling and be like, oh, look at his stamina is, oh my God, amazing. No, we watched him because he had a personality, and that's what drew us to him. And he actually turned out to be a great person. So now we supporting him throughout his whole career, movies and all. So, I like both, but it's a balance, man.
Yeah, it's like a necessary evil sometimes. You know what I mean? And another aspect of that is, you mentioned the saturation. It can be good or bad. But sometimes I look at it like, with music, sometimes a trend will go by so quick. You know what I mean? Like someone will have a hot song, and next thing you know, it's forgotten about. You know what I'm saying? Because people's memory ain't as long as what it used to be.
You know what I do like about that? It's challenging people, the true artist. You got to work now. Because back then, you could work 20 songs, be the man, like I did 20 songs, and you good for 3 years. Now, you got to do 20 songs, turn around and do 20 songs in the next week in order to even stay consistent.
Right.
So it's really challenging those people who really say they working. It's challenging them. Like, let's see, all right, you working for real, then why can't burn a song?
Right.
Burn a song or two. Let's see if you really working, or why you holding on to things, why you waiting for things. And they're capturing and seizing the moment. Like, oh, this is the time to put this record out, versus, back in the day, the labels would make you hold those records for years until the timing. Like, oh, now we going through something, this record works, put it out. Like, I've been trying to put that, they've been doing that to my people.
Right.
I want to put that out 2 years ago.
So let's talk about your project, man. Just had a dope album release. You know what I mean? Cincinnati came out, supported. Carlos Rossi too.
Yeah.
What do you feel was different from your first project?
I had time, cuz. I had time. Uh, Carlo Rossi 1 was really an experiment.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm a producer, so that was one of my, I guess, first/second projects to put out there and just see how people like my music. The way I got into it was I would be producing or engineering for an artist, and they would be stuck. And I'll be like, won't you try this? And I actually write or sing or give them a melody, and it works. And they're like, that's lit. That happens every session.
Right.
So then it got to a point where it's like, yo, E, why don't you just do it? Like, you sound good doing it. So then those turned into songs, and then people reacted and was just like, you saying everything the right way. So Carlo Rossi 1 was really an experiment. Can I get people to turn up? Can I get people to like really dance, jug? And it was a success. And then Carlo Rossi 2 was more like, all right, now that I got their attention and I got their their trust, now it's the time to put more substance into the music. Still have those beats and those vibes, but now I can tell my story and introduce who Evan is, so
That's what the music needs, you know what I'm saying? Because anybody can get on like talking about popping bottles, weed, you know what I'm saying, kicking with shorties, but not having that transparency, you know what I'm saying, and that openness and that willingness to share how they feeling with their music, you know what I mean? And I feel like that's what's setting you apart from a lot of people right now, you know what I'm saying? That's what's making your thing timeless, you know what I'm saying?
For real.
So with that being said, like, do you have any advice for anybody?
Man,
Other than, come drop y'all studio time money, get
plug.
checks. Make checks payable to Timeless Recording.
Plug, man. One of my favorite quotes is, don't think, don't try, just do. Everybody procrastinates. Everybody got excuses. We all got life happening to us, but really it's happening for us. We just don't see that. So one of my favorite quotes is just so simple. It's just, don't think, don't try, just do it. Who cares? You fuck up. All right. You did it. You got the answer to doing it a different way. If you think too hard on it, you're not going to try.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And if you try too hard, you're not going to do it. If you try to think too hard on it. So it's just one of those, just do it, yo.
It's like that saying,
Just
study
do it.
long, study wrong.
I need the Nike meme right now. Just do it.
Just do it.
Just do it. And another thing too for the young kids out there is, this world, like, we in this phase of like OGs and then the young dumb ones. OGs don't like the young dumb ones. The young dumb ones don't like the OGs. Try to just understand one another. And I'm talking to my OGs, and I'm talking to my young ones, and I'm talking to myself. Converse, man. Right. Have a conversation and drop the egos completely. Who cares what you done in your life? Who cares what you about to do and what you doing right now with your life? We all bleed the same. We all breathe the same air. We all got the same problems, just different, situations. But let's just try to at least converse and have a conversation and try to understand one another.
So I learned a lot from you.
Likewise.
And I don't consider myself an OG, more like a triple OG. You know what I'm
Straight
saying?
up. But I'm a double OG.
A double OG?
You know what I'm saying? I got the double G's on mine.
You hot on my heels. I wish you all the best of luck in the future. You know what I'm saying? So you need to hurry up and get your triple OG status so you can bring the next people up, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, we doing it.
So I can retire.
We doing it. We doing it right now, man.
Yeah.
We doing it, man. Follow the story. Follow me, man. I know I said I was an entrepreneur, music producer, all that, man. I'm a humanitarian as well. I got a nonprofit. We feed the homeless. We do backpack drives, one day at a time. That's what it's called, One Dad on Instagram. That's what it's about. It's not really about just us. And that's what I'm hoping, man. Like, when you listen to my music, you're going to be like, he lit, like, he turned. And when you hear me, you're going to be like, damn, this guy did it. Like, this guy, I don't need to kind of like. So, we're going to change, though. We're going to change the world. We're going to, like Pac said, we're going to spark the brain at will.
Wonder why I'm getting all this shit steam. New car, new Rari. That little button do a lot of things. new titties looking. Clutch money got me dunking like 'em. Yeah, I mean, I swear this summer's about to be a breeze. Toss some diamonds in the rollie, watch it freeze. Put the money over hoes, there's nothing between. 2 shots, watch me headshot her. Yo, boy, that's a dead body. Yo, bitch is a head doctor. Especially when no man's got it. Cold summer, it's gonna be a breeze. Grab the money counter, I like the sound of that machine. Let that money pile up, fuck if haters don't agree. Fuck nigga, stop playing both sides and pick a team. Just the shit that I don't need.
It's a party, huh? Yvonne! Do it down the way.
For whatever reason, I don't know if it was an accident, but you free to be you now. Once again, you free to rap about anything. You free to sing about anything. So this is the greatest opportunity right now, again, to be you, to be something totally different. So it's like a lot of people say, it's messed up. It's a great opportunity, but you got to jump on it.
Yeah, jump on it.